Hello viewers, my name is Kenneth UCHE and this is Kaycityonline. Today we are here to discuss a very sensitive topic that is affecting all of us in the society. And here I am not alone in the studio. I'm here with
Pastor Joshua Gamango.
This is your usual friend, McDonald Chibuzo. You're welcome.
And today we are here to discuss on the topic, what if your plans fail? Have you ever tried to do something at the end of the day, all your effort to start that thing, all your effort to make sure the thing did not work out for you? Have you ever tried to embark on a journey and all the plans you have, everything you have put in place to make sure it works for you, at the end of the day, what you plan to do did not succeed? What if your plans fail? So, but now, I don't want us to really go into that. I want us to, first of all, I want us to know what is really plan, what is failure. So, because some people are mixing the words. Some people don't know what plan means. Some people don't know what failure means. Some people think that planning, that when you plan something, you must succeed. So, what is really planning and what is failure?
Plan is when you have laid down goals. Then you have the strategies to make those goals being actualized. That is plan. That is your laid down strategies, the procedures to make your vision being actualized. Understand? So you have a set goals. You have something. You have decided to.
Okay,
do.
from what you are saying now is something is already in your heart that you want to achieve.
Then the modalities you have placed down to bring that thing to pass.
Okay.
That is what we call plans. Understand?
Okay.
Sure. Then you have your financial plans, you have the mental plans,
okay,
you have the physical planning. Understand?
Okay.
So that is what plans are. Okay. So what do I do to make this thing work?
Failure is the planning and the dream we had,
yes,
and unable to reach the things, and it has not come to pass.
That is when you have the plan,
yeah,
and you are unable to get to that point where you plan to get to. Okay, that is failure. Okay, now let me bring it to the topic now. What if your plans fail?
What if your plan fails?
Now the problem now is not that you don't have vision. The problem now is not that you don't have dream to achieve something. Now is not, we are not talking about that you did not plan. Now, what about after planning? It fails. What if your plans fail?
Yeah, what if your plan fails? That is very, very important.
Yes.
Okay, for someone to know that your plans can fail.
Yes.
Okay, you are not God.
Yes.
Sure, you are not God, and you don't have 100% assurance that what you are planning must come to pass.
Yes.
Okay, so that is when you are doing business, you think of the merit and the merit,
yes,
the advantages and the disadvantages.
Yes.
So that when something does not work out, you don't go blaming or haunting yourself. It pains when you have a vision and you have planned and the vision did not work out or did not come to pass exactly the way you want it. So you don't see yourself as a failure. So failure now is not a person, I say. Failure is not a personality.
Yes.
Failure is something that did not come to pass. That is the failure, not you. You are not a failure yourself. Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
Let me just give you an instance.
Okay.
Now, if you're a student, you want to become a medical doctor.
Yes.
That is your plan. That is your vision in life.
Yes.
That is your dream, to become a medical doctor. Yes. And you have the plan. You go to school. You study medicine. Understand? You study all the subjects. You study. You read. At the end of the day, the student did not, have
make
all
it.
the subjects.
He
did not make it.
Did not pass
Did not
all
pass.
the subjects. Okay.
So you are not a failure. Okay? You are not a failure. Your dream of becoming a doctor has failed,
yes,
but you are not a failure.
Yes.
Because you have decided to become a doctor, but you may be good. You may become a good footballer.
Yes.
Okay?
That means, from what you are saying, it could be that your destiny is not in that thing which you are trying to pursue.
Exactly. Okay, but
yes,
you don't know everything. You have to try.
Yes.
There's no harm in trying. Okay?
Yes.
You have to try. So when you try something and the thing did not work out, you don't kill yourself.
Yes.
You don't have self-blame or self-hate. Okay? You see that
let
thing.
me cut you now.
Okay.
Before you go into that, for instance, now you plan and your plans fail. So who are you going to blame that is responsible for your failure? Could it be that you did not try? Or could it be that something is behind your failure? What could be the reason why people fail?
Yeah, there is actually, they should not blame anybody. Yeah, they should not blame themselves also. Because failure, as we heard from Brother Mark,
Yes.
that failure is not in the person. So that we should not blame the person if he is getting failed. Maybe if we see the failure, this is not a bad thing. Failure is one of experience. Through failure, we can get another experience to go ahead. So failure is not a bad thing. First of things, let me tell you that we should not blame anybody and I should not give up.
Good.
And we should try again because there is an opportunity to try again. So we should not give up and we should not think that my life has ended now, so nothing. And people may call me a failure. So we should not think these things. This is the positivity one. It's no need to blame anybody. So nothing to blame.
Okay.
Yourself or anybody or your time.
So now your plan has failed.
Okay.
Are you going to blame God for your failure? Are you going to blame yourself responsible for the failure? What are you going to do when your plans fail?
Okay, here we are talking of when the person has really planned.
Yes.
You have done everything
possible.
Sure, but
you have
it did
your
not
plans.
turn out.
Yes, you have your plans.
Sure.
You have the dream.
Sure.
The vision is there. But plans and everything you put in place to make sure it works.
So you see, as I said before, we are not God. They are what the spiritual control the physical.
Yes.
Okay. God knows our ending. He knows our life. He knows that thing you have planned, you have tried your best, you have prayed,
yes,
and you want to do it. You may not know that is there may be a destruction ahead. Okay. So sometimes God may avert that thing for us to save us. Then our plan may not come to pass as we really want, but we may not know. So when this thing happens, when you have tried, you have done your best, you have prayed, you have fasted, at the end, it didn't work out.
To blame God for your failure? Are you going to blame yourself responsible for the failure? What are you going to do when your plans fail?
Okay, here we are talking of when the person has really planned.
Yes.
You have done everything
possible.
Sure, but
you have
it did
your
not
plans.
Turn out.
Yes, you have your plans.
Sure.
You have the dream.
Sure.
The vision is there. But plans and everything you put in place to make sure it works.
So you see, as I said before, we are not God. They are what the spiritual control the physical.
Yes.
Okay. God knows our ending. He knows our life. He knows that thing you have planned, you have tried your best, you have prayed,
yes,
and you want to do it. You may not know that is there may be a destruction ahead. Okay. So sometimes God may avert that thing for us to save us. Then our plan may not come to pass as we really want, but we may not know. So when this thing happens, when you have tried, you have done your best, you have prayed, you have fasted, at the end, it didn't work out. This is part of life, okay? Our life is a process. So when it happens like that, you don't go blaming anybody, okay?
Exactly.
You don't go blaming God. You don't give up. You don't take your life. You don't begin to suspect a witch. Because what God does not allow can never happen. Even if somebody said, this thing you cannot make it, and you say you can make it, and the person say, over my dead body you cannot make it. And when you have prayed, God heard him. When you have fasted and prayed and walked towards it, and truly you could not make it, you don't see the person as his word has come to pass. No, you try again, or you try something else. Okay? The person may see you coming out in another way, better than what he already decided you for.
From what you just said, what you mean that if one door closes,
sure,
you try and open another.
Sure.
That's what they're
sure.
trying
There's
to
a saying that a bend road is not an end road.
Okay.
It will lead you to another way.
Another way.
Sure. So we see the things the Bible says that we know in part and we see in part. Okay. God sees all. God knows all. So when plans does not come to pass as we think, we don't see ourselves as failures. We don't blame anybody. Don't say forefathers, foremothers. You do your best.
So what could be the reason for the failure?
Sure.
Since you have the plans.
Sure.
Because sometimes people say that the reason people fail this is because you don't have plan, you don't have vision. Now you have the vision. What could be responsible for the failure?
Sure. There are many things involved.
Okay.
One, as I said before, that may not be your life. That may not be where your life is.
Okay.
Okay. Now maybe the person is not destined to be that thing. That's what I'm saying. It's very, very important for you to know. Okay, it's very, very important. This world, there are things we are created to do.
Okay,
It's
that
for
is
you-
your calling.
Sure, it's for you to find your field.
Okay.
And fit in it.
Okay, and that is when you come, you are now talking about discovering your purpose.
Sure. Now,
Yeah.
I had a
Yes.
story. I had a story of a student, a medical student.
Yes.
He has stayed in school for long. He will not pass their final exam. He wouldn't pass. So I wanted to make my parents happy, to become a proud parent of a medical doctor.
Yes.
But he has not sat down to ask himself, am I created for this? When he has tried several times, he could not become a medical doctor. He drove a car. He had a car. He drove the car speedily and killed himself. Now he could not become a medical doctor. He could not try something else. He lost his life and he doesn't know where he was going to. So you don't end your life because a particular plan failed. You can try something else. I have seen someone who did not succeed academically in school, dropped out and became a good musician. So that there is something in you that is born in that talent that is born in you. You do it. You follow it. It could be where your life is. You can be a good counselor.
Okay, now let me come in.
Okay, do you know that someone's experience in life has brought him to a limelight?
Yes.
He has failed many times. His plans have failed many times. He had lost many things, and he began to teach people how to stand strong. And from there, he became so popular, and he made it from his own. Maybe God allowed him to pass through those things, so that from his stories, people will learn and to become strong. From there, he became a counselor, a public speaker. People were listening to him.
That is understanding your season, because from what Bible said there is time for everything.
Sure.
Sometimes there's a time to start something and there's a time to end something.
Sure.
And there's a time to be fruitful and there's a time for lack. There's a time for planting and there's a time for
There's a time to
harvesting.
live and time to
there's
die.
Yeah.
For the fact that you plan and you did not succeed, it could be that it is not the season for that thing.
Exactly.
Like you said,
Sure.
it's not the time for that thing to be fruitful. Maybe it is still the time for planting, and maybe you are expecting a harvest. When your plans fail, some people think that when their plans fail, they are now the failure itself.
Yes.
You understand? But sometimes you need to go through closed doors before you can come to an open door. Because if you don't go through a closed door, you will not have a story to tell. Failure is not an end. Failure is a ladder to success. Because there are several people that from their failure, just like what he said, from their failure they have become so famous.
They discover themselves.
Yes, they discover themselves from their failure. And from their stories, people are learning more and are becoming better. So now, how do people react when they fail?
People react a very bad way. If we see usually people, the human being, they react very bad way, and they think that everything has ended now.
Yes.
So they are planning to end up their life. They think that this is the closed door. They don't want to discover the life, why this happened and how can be. Because of pandemic, government imposed the rules, different rules not to go work or not go to office. The people they break, and they think that a lot of people, we see a lot of people, they suicide themselves, and they think that there is, we can see there the lack of persistence also. And they don't want to stay and have patience. And they don't want to look wait for the time. If maybe they should have look a time for good time. No, they should have wait for the time. But instead of doing that things, they reacted very bad way, and they plan to kill themselves, and a lot of people they died. Not only this pandemic, but in life